What up? SoloRenektonOnly here. Gonna do a patch note rundown for patch 10.6. A lot of changes this patch. We'll just go through them all. First one is autofill balance and ranked. I'm not gonna read through all of this. If you want to read through them, I'll obviously link the patch notes down below. You can read through it. I'll just read the bullet points. But solo queue and duo matches will less likely to give you different numbers of autofilled players. So some games you'll get like 3 autofills and the enemy will get like 1. So basically they're making it so the system is way less likely to do that. Thank God. All right, now on to more stuff that actually matter. Well, that matters too, obviously. They're going to keep doing some changes to matchmaking to make it slightly better, but yeah, good change, right? Okay, Anivia, her R ice duration is increased from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. Who cares? She needed a little buff. She's not that great. I see her get picked every once in a while by like some one tricks. They do decent with her, but overall, not strong, not a massive buff that's going to change anything too much. Aphelios, nerfs, thank God. Still pretty strong champion. So innate heal, innate damage to minions decreased. And this is the little like Katarina like auto attack thing. Ridiculous champion. Okay, so from 8% to 25% down to 3 to 20. Sizable nerf. And then from 45% of the AoE damage down to 30%. Again, sizable nerf. 30 to 173 attack damage to 24 to 164. Not that big of a nerf, but I like it. Take just a little power. I don't think the champion's too broken because it still has like garbage mobility. And if you're not like playing it really well, I feel like if you, it depends more what's around you on your team comp. If you have the right setup and you get like shields and stuff and you can be more aggressive, like play it more like how Vayne plays and like go into team fights and stuff, that's when I feel like this champion does really well. But when he plays like super far back and tries to play like a range game, I always feel like this champ's pretty bad. So anything to make it a little bit harder for them to go in and just do the Vayne thing, because I think it's too easy sometimes. Like you get a Lulu buff or a Yumi attached to them and they're just like unkillable and they just run in there, kill your whole team, healing up like insane amounts. So kind of good that they hit the heal. I like that. And then a little bit of the damage as well. Not bad. All right, Darius got nerfed this patch. W bonus damage decreased, cost increased, E cost increased, but now scales down with rank. Okay, so E went, 70 mana. It scales down with rank, so this means at level 13, since you max it second, at level 13, it'll be 30 mana, so it'll be less than what it is right now. But it's pretty painful for early game trades. That's pretty painful. W went down from 55 to 70, down to 40 to 60 total attack damage. So that's a decent nerf for Darius because the way his passive works is passive is giving you attack damage, right? So when you get 5 stack, you get a ton of additional attack damage. So if we're reducing a percentage of that, that hurts a little bit. And they upped the mana cost by 40. So it's like level 1, 2, 3, 4, like that whole area, his early game like 6 until what? Yeah, our mana costs are higher until like way later on, until like level 13. Our mana costs are higher. Oof. I like Corruption Pot start a lot on Darius, so maybe I'll do Corruption Pot start even more because you get some mana back from Corruption Pot, obviously. And if they're increasing mana costs like this, I'd obviously have to play it, but if you're trading a lot, this feels like a lot of additional mana. Because Darius already has like a small pool. Not that big of a nerf. I think that's okay. Draven, W decaying movement speed is increased. So from 40 to 60% to 50 to 70%. All right. Draven's not like the most popular ADC. Fine with the buff. I don't really think that matters too much. Garen, base magic resist growth decreased and E crit strike ratio decreased. Ooh. So this is going to make the the Triforce PD build a little bit weaker. But most people are already switching over to the Triforce into Black Cleaver build for the 40% CDR. So I don't know if this will matter that much. Maybe it'll just force more people to switch over to the Triforce Black Cleaver build as opposed to the Triforce PD build. This, it's a little bit of a nerf. Hecarim, R fear duration increased from 0.75, 1.5 seconds to 0.75 to 2 seconds. So based on distance traveled, yeah. So if you hit like a max distance R, you're getting rewarded a little bit more for it. All right, that's fine. I don't feel like Hecarim's too strong or anything right now. I like when they do small things like this, like small buffs like this. You don't have to do massive changes to champions. Like Hecarim has played a little bit, and he does well when he gets snowballed and all that. But yeah, just giving him a small buff like this makes more people like read the patch notes, maybe want to play him a little bit, and then realize he's actually like pretty decent still. All right, cool. Kayn, they buffed Kayn last patch. Passive orb gain speed increased later, so they buffed the orb game. They buffed the orb gain speed last patch as well, and they're just buffing it up again here. So orb gain speed at 10 to 13 minutes into the game, Kayn will increase his orb gain speed by 15%, rising through the duration. This is basically to help you if you're like falling behind. Like if you get like really counter ganked early game as Kayn and you don't do well, and then you fall behind and you can't really gank anything because you're too weak, so you can't really get any orbs. This will help you. But I played a game of Kayn on this patch recently with the most recent orb gain buffs, and I was getting my forms so quickly, but I didn't really have that bad of a game. So I guess if I had a really bad game, this would be super helpful. I could see it. Not bad. Kayn's just a monster. You go red form and you get a warrior plus black cleaver. Feel like almost unkillable at that stage. Level 13 area. So that'll help. Kindred, base attack, growth, and mana regen increased. W health restore increased. R heal increased. Okay, so just straight buffs. Small attack damage buff. You know, you do this times 18, so it's 0.25 times 18. Whereas that like 4 additional attack damage, 4.5 for an entire game. Okay. Mana regen. Okay. These are always weird ones, but all right, whatever. Health restore 32 to 100 to 49 to 100, so that'll help the early game a little bit more. Okay. Just the early game clear being a little higher HP. The ultimate went from a 200 to 300 heal to a 250 to 400. I like it. I like it. I mean, honestly, everybody inside of it's getting healed anyways, so even the enemy team, so it just kind of feels like you're just adjusting the outcome of the end of the situation a little bit. Like people are going to be slightly higher HP when they come out, which gives both teams like more opportunities to do stuff. I don't know. Interesting. I mean, I think just helping the jungle early game will help a little bit, but I think most people who play Kindred are pretty efficient at kiting the jungle camps around, so they take like hardly any damage. So I don't really know if a heal is going to be that important, but we'll see. Don't really think those are that massive of changes. Morgana, base movement speed increased. E shield increased early. Ugh. That black shield, dude. That thing is so OP. It just lasts forever. Especially as like an annoying top lane champion. Like you play some AD thing and you're trying to like CC somebody, but you can't pop the shield and you have to wait like 25 minutes for it to wear off. Oof. All right. Tangent over. Base stat increase. Move speed up by 5. Okay. It's probably just bringing it more in line with other supports. Black shield from 60, 300 to 80. So yeah, they just buffed up the early game all the way. Oh, everyone's buffed until the last. Okay. I don't know. Minuscule change. Might help a little bit in the early game in bot lane. Maybe this helps dodging things early game in bot lane as a support, obviously. Small tweaks again. Just going to bring like the weaker champions just up slightly. Not massive changes. I like that type of style. Base mana regen growth increased. W damage decreased later. Okay. So that's fine. He already has like such a giant mana pool. Feels like he never runs through him anyways. Especially with like the rune page everybody runs. Okay. 80 to 160. The 40 damage buff. That's not bad. The only downside is this is the thing people upgrade last. So like this isn't gonna really matter because you're gonna be at the level 1 W for basically the whole game. You know, you max E in your Q or Q in your E, depending on what you want to do. But you definitely max W last. So this buff isn't really gonna do anything until like level 18, you know, 17. I guess 20 damage on 16, 10 damage on 14. Okay. Random small buff for eyes. Senna, passive AD per soul decreased. Nice. Missed cooldown now scales. Okay. Attack damage per soul went from 1 to 0.75. Okay. That's not that bad. That's a decent gold cost over time. You go from 100 down to 75. If you had 100 attacks, you go from 100 attack damage down to 75. That's a pretty sizable nerf. Okay. 4 seconds. Now it's going to be 6, 5, 4. Oh, so they're even making it... Wow. So they're increasing the cooldown early lane too. Yeah, they're just really trying to hit the souls. That's the main thing. I don't know if they like the... Just the amount of souls and how strong of a late game champion this champion becomes. You're just infinitely scaling as a support role. If the game just goes a little bit long, all of a sudden you have an extra damage threat on the other team that's just very difficult to deal with. And then their early lane phase isn't bad either. Catch potential with W is massive. Has a global ultimate that can support other lanes. It's just a very, very powerful champion. And the passive is just absurd. So this is what, like 3rd, 4th, 5th patch in a row that they've been nerfing the passive. Rightfully so. So I think this one will be pretty good. This means early game, less generation of souls. Those souls will count a little bit less. They'll be less powerful, obviously. Good nerf. Small, not like massive, not game changing again, but good, decent nerf. All right, Shaco. R clone basic attack damage decreased. All right. I mean, it's super annoying when you just have Shaco clone beating your ass as you're trying to run away and you're getting slowed every hit, you know? But we'll see. This is for the AD build, yeah? Yeah. 75% total attack damage down to 60%. Okay. Small nerf. I don't think it'll matter too much. People who want to play Shaco will still play Shaco. They'll still do quite a bit of damage. A little bit of a nerf, though. All right, Soraka, who has been gutted for bot lane because they couldn't figure out how to balance her for top lane. Q, rejuvenation heal increased. Movement speed bonus increased. We're putting some power back into Scarfroll now that the Scourge of Soraka top is no longer a threat. Time and space as we know it. Well, why is it no longer a threat, my friend? It's because you nerfed this. Now you're going to buff it. I don't understand. Okay. Oh boy. This is why I try and not read these most of the time, because I read it and then I don't understand Riot at all. But okay. This is like the thing that they nerfed to stop her from being strong in top lane. And then they're buffing it again. So, and then saying that it's not going to be, now that she's out of top lane, we're buffing her, so she'll be back in the top lane. Like, okay. 40 to 80, 50 to 90, so 10 at each level. Okay, it's not that big. Yeah, the heal part's not that big. Movement speed is really the big deal, because she can just keep distance the entire time, and then it doesn't really matter how much damage this does, as long as this is above, you know, as long as it's a reasonable number. Because you're just going to get poked and then not be able to respond, and that's the entire premise. You get poked, and you can't respond. So over time, she'll just win because of that. The movement speed's a big part. And this is a small buff, obviously. Oh, yes, the Twisted Fate. I like it. I don't know if she'll actually be back for top lane, but it's just like an odd change. I feel like they just should have made it so the Q only works when like other people are around. Like you need a teammate within 1400 range. Well, okay, that'd be kind of weird for like trying to place wards and stuff. I take it back. Anyways, we'll see with this one. I'm not exactly sure if she'll come back to top lane. I mean, she might. The movement speed's the big part again. Lets you kite people. Twisted Fate. W, blue, and red cards AP ratios are increased. Yeah, I saw these buffs. These are crazy. Whew. Blue card AP ratio from 0.5 ability power to 0.9. Oh my god. No one's going to flame you when you blue card. You can say, I was going for the kill. I was going for the kill. So no more blue card flame. That's pretty nice. I like it. Whew. That's going to hit like a truck, man. I'm already just thinking about playing some TF. That's going to hit so hard. 0.9, because then you get that Lich Bane on top of this as well. Oh my goodness. That one auto is just going to hit so hard. You get Lich Bane proc, you get all the AP that you already have, and then this AP ratio got increased further. Phew. And you could have your E on that hit as well. Damn. That's going to do so much. Red card went from 0.5 to 0.6. Okay. That doesn't really matter as much. Nice, but this is the big one. Whew. I think we'll see, definitely, yeah, definitely late game. Late game, when you have so much AP, this is going to hit so hard. And towers, too. So, I think you'll definitely see a lot more TF. That's a pretty good buff. Pretty sizable buff. Urgot, Q slow duration increased. E stun duration increased. Urgot's needed some help. They keep nerfing his items. So, I feel like he's kind of been in a bad spot for quite a while. There was some patches like a long time ago where he's just like perma-picked. But that was back when you could have Steric's Gauge on him. He was like really strong during that time. But even a little bit after, he was still pretty decent. Let's see. Slow duration. Meh. 0.25 seconds more. 0.25 seconds more. It's not a bad change. It's not a bad change. Like, his problem is people getting away from him. So if he can Q, use that slow to move up close enough to get his E, and then E lands, and it gives him an extra 0.25 seconds on both parts. It's not bad. I mean, the main thing with Urgot is you can bully a lot of these melee champions in level like 1 fights. Because you flip them at level 1, like Renekton versus Urgot or something. You just E him as Urgot level 1. You get a shield, and now you get an even longer stun duration, and it just allows you to proc all those backside legs. So as the person tries to run away, then they run into all your front side legs, and you hit all those as well, and you just get a ton of damage out. I feel like these are decent changes. I like it. You don't want to do massive buffs. These seem like a small, decent change that'll help his trade pattern. Because trade pattern is hit Q, use that slow to hit E, use that to proc legs with W. I like it. Should be a decent buff. Vigar, base AD growth, and armor increased. Q base damage increase. Ooh. Small buffs for the small boy. Oh my god, stop. Okay. This is just going to help last hitting in the very early game, I guess. I guess it's just going to help last hitting in the very early game. I mean, you press your Q, so I don't really know what the attack damage buffs are. Maybe they're trying to bait me into doing a full AD build. And then oh, these are just like rounding number things. Yeah, I think they're just going for the rounding number things. I don't know why they didn't just say that. It's just, yeah, they're just going for rounded numbers. So instead of like all the extra, I mean, this isn't exactly round, but you know what I mean. Taking off all the extra. Going 10 decimals out. Yeah, that's just rounded numbers. All right, Q. Why would they not just say it? They want this champ to get played more. Exactly. This is one of those bait buffs, dude. They wanted rounding numbers plus 10 additional damage. This is a bait buff. This is the ones that they do. They do these every few times. Like when they nerf a champion by -3 attack damage or something. It's just a bait buff or a nerf. It's like a psychological one, you know? People will look and they'll see, oh my god, Vigar got buffed, and then they'll just go play him. And then the play rate will increase by a little bit just because of that, you know? Or people play him and they'll be like, oh, he's actually pretty good. So sometimes Riot does good, and they've actually nerfed champions successfully by doing -3 AD, because it just like messes with the people's psyche. They've buffed champions by giving them small buffs like this, and the champion got more playtime. Like, you got to remember, back in the day, Ardent Censor was there, existing in the game, and super strong for like 6 months before anybody realized it, right? People just needed to see it. It got like a tiny tweak, and then people were like, oh my god, this item is super broken. And then it was picked by everybody, right? So small tweaks will get people to play things, realize how strong they are. I mean, I already think Vigar is incredibly strong. The Glacial Augment build is really good. Okay, so we got the Wukong changes. Passive, increased stats for fighting champions instead of based on proximity. W now has a dash and a clone that mimics basic attacks and abilities. R can now be cast twice. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of changes here. I'm probably just going to do a Wukong video, and I'm sure there's others on already, but I haven't actually played him yet, so I don't really want to give too much of my feel for him. So I'll just kind of skip over this one, and I'll make a video on him. So look forward to that. I don't know when this is going to come out. I'll probably put this out today. But yeah, look forward to that. Bunch of changes. All right, we're not going to go through all of them though. Xerath, W center damage amp increased. R damage per shot increased later. Okay. So hit the center of your W, do more damage. I like stuff like that. Land your skills, you get rewarded more. I like changes like that. R 280 to 200 and all right. So a slight buff on the. Is that a 3? It is. Okay. So a slight buff on the base by 20 And then a slight buff on the ability power by like 0.02. Okay, I like this one. This is a decent change. Yeah, just a small buff. Small buff. I like it. Rewarding people who hit their skill shots. I like it. All right, jungle champions. I'm still confused on what they're trying to do here. I'm not. I think this is like a not overwhelmingly affect. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. It's not overwhelmingly affecting high levels of skill. So I think it's just, you know, letting people play what they want in the jungle. Lower elo people or in normals and stuff, there's more opportunities to play like goofy stuff. You want to play some, you know, Darius jungle, Garen jungle. When I get autofilled, I played Garen a few times on some of my other accounts. He's pretty fun. Okay, Brand has a blaze on the monster, does more damage. Morgana, W does more damage to the monsters. Okay, Shen, Q does more damage to the monsters. Okay, Teemo, Blind, lasts 100% longer against monsters. Okay, you still have to wait on Gromp. Gromp does 2 auto attacks that can't be blinded because they're like magic hits. They're like spells or something. So you have to still wait. E does more damage. Okay. He can now raise ghouls on large monsters, deaths, and they take 50% resistance. Okay, cool. Zyra, plants now deal 150. Okay, so they basically buffed all these champions so that they could clear. They probably went, tested them, and gave them a buff that makes it so that they can clear the jungle and have a reasonable amount of HP. Cool. I don't think this is going to affect the game really too much. If you want to have fun playing some of these in the jungle, go ahead. Just probably don't do it in ranked games. Funnel mechanic nerfs. Thank you. Hopefully these are decent. Let's see. Like the most annoying thing ever is I don't even like when they're on my team. Like I don't like having Taric, Yi on my team because I know it's just all going to come down to them. Either they're going to, it's not going to be a game where I do anything. Like maybe 10% of the time I'll impact the game where there's a funnel. Like I'll make a big play and not die under tower early game and I'll get a double kill on the Yi Taric trying to dive me. Or the reverse, my Yi Taric kills a bunch of people on the map and they're like 5-0 by, you know, 5 minutes in the game, it's just over. Oh, I hate funnel. Please gut it. Okay, unique monster hunter. So that's the passive that's on all the jungle items. Minion gold penalty. So it went from 13 gold less from lane minions if they have more than half of your gold farm. Blah, 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 this is all crap. 13 less gold and 50% less XP. Oh, okay, there we go. That's how you do it. So they get half the EXP now. So the gold thing is the same, but they get half the EXP when they go steal lane minions. If they have more farm, yeah, okay. It's still gonna be good, dude. It's still not enough. I don't exactly know what you do to nerf it so much. It's just the combo is so powerful, and the fact that you can. It's a duo, so you're with a teammate that you're probably in Discord with, communicating, setting up these dive plays. It's very easy to abuse in solo queue. That's why it has like 65 to 70% win ratio. Taric, Yi, Taric goes, tanks a tower, or Yi goes, tanks a tower, presses Q to drop aggro, so Taric pulls it after. Taric's just sitting there spamming heal, E using it to stun people, W shield obviously, ultimate, so they both go invulnerable. If Yi's popping ult, he has Taric ultimate for invulnerability. He has his own ultimate, so he cannot be slowed. Has an incredible attack speed, true damage. He can Q to dodge tower aggro. He can W to reduce damage. Like, I don't know how you nerf that effectively. I think you have to hit it even more. I think you make it like 100%. Like, I don't know. I think you just have to, all right, maybe not 100%, but I think you just have to hit it like to a ridiculous point where they get almost no value from going to lane. But then that hurts like other junglers that want to just help push your lane. But this is really only going to matter that much when they have like an insane farm lead, which is uncommon unless they're getting funneled. Decent change, right? I'm guessing more has to be done because basically every single time they keep nerfing and it still just gets played. And I see it all the time because a lot of my Smurfs are in Platinum or like D4, well, even my main's in like D3 right now. But yeah, a lot of my accounts are in like lower to mid elo. I don't know what you'd call Platinum to Diamond. But yeah, so I see this all the time. It's super prevalent. Top lane significance follow-ups. Okay. Death Stance. Oh yes, the teleport changes. I like those a lot. Death Stance one. So let's see here. 50 attack damage, 30 armor, 30 magic resist, 10% CDR. So they took off 30 attack damage, and then they gave it a bunch of armor and magic resist. I talked about this in some videos I recorded already on the PBE with this item. I did it when it was giving 60 attack damage. I thought it was super broken. The combination of armor and magic resist when you have lifesteal is huge, because you have to understand that armor and magic resist is increasing the effectiveness of your HP, right? Lifesteal gives you more HP. So it's a very, very good combo, especially for bruisers. Very good combo. Stores 30% of all post-mitigated damage received from melee champions. 20, oh, I didn't see this change. And 20% from range champions. Hold up. Stores 30% of all post-mitigated damage received from melee champions. 20% for range champions. And it takes it as damage over time. Oh. So, wait. So if a range champion did it? Am I reading this weird? Stores 30% of all post-mitigated damage received for melee champions. Okay, for melee champions. So that means when you have the item. Okay. I was reading this as from for a second. I was like, wait, what? Why would I take less damage when a range champion hits me? Okay. So this just means if like Kaisa has it or something, she's not getting as much value from it. Ooh, what other range champions take that stance? I think it's just, there's gotta be more than Kaisa. And even her, it's like not even that common. Draven, okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't know, that one's weird. I think it's because they understand how powerful this is in combination with a lifesteal. Okay, that's fine. That works for me. I think it's a pretty good bruiser buff change. I think it'll be very good on Renekton for sure. Anything that has innate lifesteal, there's a lot of, I think it'll be good on Tryndamere too. It'll like make him a little bit tankier and make it so he doesn't have to pop his ultimate instantly. And then the longer he can go without popping his ultimate, it's just way easier for Tryndamere to win, right? I think there's a decent chunk of champions. I have to look at the whole list and go through. Aatrox, yeah. Honestly, man, most of the bruisers, anybody who already went it, it's going to be very good on, right? The Rivens, the Aatroxes. I think Tryndamere has builds where he already went. Death Dance, Renekton, Death Dance is going to be very good. Like, I'm thinking this with Black Cleaver plus this seems like such a good item on Renekton, or build on Renekton. Honestly, a build on any champion, right? Because you have HP from the Black Cleaver, then you have armor magic resist from the Death Stance, and you're adding in lifesteal on top of that, and you're getting 50 attack damage plus the attack damage from the Black Cleaver, 20% CDR, 10% CDR, you're at 30%. It's a really good 2-item combo. You know, you take 10% in your runes or something, and you have 40% CDR. It's a really good combo. Definitely a nice bruiser buff change. I like it. That's a really good way to buff bruisers, by the way. Do it through items, especially some of these items like Death Dance that don't really get abused by too many other champions in the game, and they're mainly just for top lane. Now, if you over buff them, obviously, other champions will start using them, because that's how it always works. So you have to do like slight buffs. These are pretty reasonable buffs, and they're pretty targeted toward bruisers, or people who build like a decent amount of HP. All right, teleport. I like this change a lot. So 360 seconds is what it used to be. It's going to go to 420, blaze it. And that's at level 1, obviously. And then it's going to drop all the way down to 240 at level 18. So that means in the early game, longer cooldown. Late game, shorter cooldown. Reason that's important is early game, you can bully people a little bit easier, right? And this is also mainly to stop like bot lane from taking it, I think. But you can bully people more and force them to leave, and then like making them use their teleport is more punishing. Because if you force them to use their teleport back to lane, they can't use it at like level 6 to go bot lane. And with the new buff, it's going to actually be pretty decent to use it for rotations and not really just to get back to lane all the time. That's how most people have been using it right now. Grants 3 seconds of 30 to 50% movement speed upon teleport completion based on the character's level, increased by 10% at level 6 and 11. Okay. So the 30 is at level 1 to 5, then it's 40 from level 6 to 10, and then 50 level 11 on. Okay, it's like a Nimbus Cloak basically. If you take Nimbus Cloak on top of this, you'll get a ton of movement speed. That's what I mean. It's going to open a lot of flank opportunities. So if you're forcing your opponent to use teleport early game, and then you hold yours so you can make a TP play with the additional movement speed, and maybe a Nimbus Cloak combo, right? You can potentially get a couple kills pretty easily. Just my main issue with teleport has been unless I have like a perfect location early game in bot lane, it's very difficult for me to teleport there because I'll lose so much in top lane. Unless I have like the waves permanently shoved in and it's like just the perfect situation, all the stars are aligning, my waves pushed up, I have a deep ward behind the enemy in bot lane and they're overextended at tower, like the stars aligned, you know, then maybe. But this will be a little bit easier. Because as you're spending the whole time teleporting, the enemy starts running away. But now when you actually get there, you get a bunch of additional movement speed to close that distance. So that's going to be pretty key. And then think about late game. It's a shorter cooldown, so you can join team fights more often. So you can split push a lot harder, and we don't have to have these ARAM games where everybody just stands in middle. Everybody can go to side lanes and split push a little bit harder. And then when you do join, you have a lot of flank opportunity. You can come from the side of the fights with additional movement speed, get onto key targets, lock them down, do whatever. I like it. That's a really good buff right there. Definitely helps top lane. I like it. Good changes, right? Good changes. Recommended items. I don't care about any of this stuff. ARAM. I don't care about any of that stuff. Okay. Well, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the patch rundown. Give me some feedback down below. This is the first time I've done one of these, so probably rambled too much. Probably not the cleanest. And this is 31 minutes, so yeah, that definitely feels like I rambled too much. Anyways, give me some feedback on the YouTube video. I'd appreciate that. Much love. Thanks for watching. Adios. Bye.